Hi, my name is Olga Horvat and this is Clea. Welcome to Pet Friendly Living. Hi, I'm your host Olga Horvat and this is Pet Friendly Living. Today I'm 5,000 miles far from New York City. I'm in very exotic country in Serbia. The fact is I was born and raised in Belgrade, which is the capital of Serbia. Anyway, the reason I'm here is I want to find out the truth, what's happening with animals in this country. Serbia has a big problem with stray dogs and cats. Many animals have been poisoned and illegally killed in this country. In 2011, 5,600 of dogs and cats were found dead on the streets of Belgrade. There is a very sad story that I want to tell you about. And it's just going to break your heart. It's a story about a dog named Mila. She was female, very young, mixed breed dog who was found on the street under the car with all four paws cut off. She was left on the street to bleed to death. And there are no words to explain such barbaric cruelty. Cruelties like that are often happening in this country, and there are good and bad things about that. One of the good things that I would like to talk about and to stress is there are still a lot of great people, a lot of people who wants to help animal, who wants to make some changes. And thanks to them, Mila was saved. She was taken to vet, and she was later on adopted by a loving family. Here is Mila. She is doing great. On this photo, you can see she's laying down on the red pillow, and she's just resting. So this is a happy end of Mila's story. The other great thing that I would like to tell about is there are more and more organizations, animal rights organizations, who are doing a great job and changing Serbia, changing the world, the way how they behave and how they help animals. One of the very respectful, if not the most respectful organization in Serbia is ORCA. ORCA stands for Organization for Respect and Care of Animals. Today, our guest is Jelena Burazerovic. She's the project manager of ORCA. Jelena, I'm so happy to be with you here and to discuss such an important issue, saving lives of animals. I'd like to know when ORCA was founded and what inspired you to found such a great organization.
Well, Olga, first of all, I would like to thank you for this kind invitation to be for ORCA to be a guest in your show. ORCA was founded in 2000, so it's 13 years ago that we are working. And the reason why we decided to found an animal welfare organization in Serbia, in Belgrade particularly, was because at that point of time Serbia didn't have any kind of animal welfare regulation, any kind of legislation. Dogs were literally killed. That was the way of solving the problem of abandoned animals Serbia-wide. Animal welfare education was not taught in school, so children were not
So what inspired you? Like, what was like the love for animals, or what was like the main?
Of course, the main reason was love for animals and a strong wish to make a good change, and to help animals in Serbia. So actually, ORCA was founded by a group of young enthusiast students from the Faculty of Veterinary Medicine here in Belgrade, and a group of professors who supported them. And yes, since then the rest is the history, I can say.
Right. As I know, in 2009 there was a new law founded, and in Serbia the name of the law is Zakon o dobrobiti životinja. I would like to know, how do you define this law and what are the sanctions?
Yes, you're right. In 2009, Serbia adopted its first animal welfare law ever. So this is actually the first animal welfare regulation in its core, and ORCA has been working for nine full years. We have campaigned for adoption of this law, and in the end, the Ministry of Agriculture, who was responsible for drafting the law, we made actually the draft of this law, and they included us as active members of the working group. So we had the major influence on the final form of this law, and we are very satisfied. How we think this is a really good animal welfare law. Unfortunately, as many laws in this country, it's not enforced in the way it should be.
So what are the sanctions if somebody doesn't follow the law?
They foresee in the sanctions for physical persons from 5 to 50,000 dinars, and I don't know exactly the exchange rate for dollars, but you can say maybe later. And for legal persons is from I believe 100,000 to million dinars. And I have to say that we also have a criminal act, which is also an important law for animals here in Serbia, because it sanctions animal murder and animal abuse. And also, according to this law, if a person kills an animal, one can go to prison for 1 year. And if a person kills more than one animal or a protected species of animal, they can go to prison until 3 years. And also, if they organize animal fights, they can go to prison until 3 years. This is also one of the results of ORCA's advocacy, and we are also advocating for some other improvements for these laws.
Right. Belgrade has adopted a no-kill strategy in dealing with strays, and which is great. I'd like to know what's happening in the rest of the country, in Serbia. Are they following the law, or they just don't care, or what's happening out there?
Well, first of all, I should just say a little change, or correction to your introduction.
Right.
So actually, there were not around
5,600.
yes, dead animals. They were live, and
they were just found on the street.
On the street, exactly. They are abandoned animals, and they are on the street. Unfortunately, they do not have home. And you're right. Belgrade adopted. It is the first city in Serbia that adopted humane way for solving the problem of abandoned animals, and it is based on neutering, on microchipping, registering, and on promotion of responsible ownership. But you see, it is not enough to adopt the policy. You have to implement it. You have to implement it systematically, continuously, and you have to implement it with expertise and with continuity. This is the problem with humane strategies in Serbia. And you wanted to know about other cities in Serbia. The situation is pretty much different.
Much worse, right? I mean,
well, it depends. You have some cities which are good, which are really implementing good the strategy, which is based on humane ways. This is what like I explained, the neutering. And you have cities that they don't have strategies at all, or they implement it wrong, not in a good way. So it's rather different. So the thing is that it is only 3 or 4 years since this law has been adopted. So most, if not all, municipalities in Serbia are coping with this problem, and there are a lot of problems and a lot of issues. As you said, there are many animals on the street.
Right. also like to know if it's true that many parents are afraid to send their children on the street because there's so many stray dogs on the street, and there are a lot of attacks on individuals. So is this really happening? Is it really dangerous to go out and just play on the street?
Well, unfortunately, this situation exists in Serbia, and the thing is that Serbia has a problem with abandoned animals. There are a lot of animals on the street. The attacks from dogs happen, and like I explained in my previous answer, the problem is that the humane methods or strategies they're not implementing well, if they're existing at all. So the expertise, the continuity, and a systematic way of implementing humane ways is crucial. And if it's not done in this way, unfortunately, the results are not there. So um, I believe I answered the question.
Oh yeah,
About that. Yes.
Right. It's very sad, but that's what's happening, right?
Yes.
There is a new administration that was launched, and the program was about sterilizing, vaccinating, and microchipping animals. But as I heard, it was really not very successful. So, what is your opinion? Is it because of such high unemployment rate, or it is because there's a poor living standard in Serbia, or like what do you think? What's the main reason why this is not going the way we want it?
Well, the law is not enforced if I want to answer in a simple way, the law is not enforced. Many municipalities, because municipalities are responsible in Serbia for solving the problem, they don't have strategies, or they implement it in the wrong way. There is not enough expertise. There is no continuity. You see, in Belgrade, you also do not have a good situation, even though you have a good strategy, because, as I said, the continuity and systematic way, you have to have the massive neutering of abandoned as well as owned dogs. You have to have a massive promotional campaign. You have to find people that are abandoning animals, and in Serbia it's really difficult to find animals, to find to have a sentence for people who are abandoning animals. So there are many reasons, and basically the main cause of this is we have a good law, but it's not implemented effectively.
Okay. What do you think? What's missing in this country? Is it a nationwide education teaching Serbians about the importance of sterilization and responsible pet ownership, or if you want to add something else that you think that's missing?
Well, absolutely. I think you're absolutely right. Lack of information, a lack of knowledge is what is the problem with Serbia. And education is definitely the best way to prevent problems that we have today. And as I said at the beginning, we only have the animal welfare law since 2009, and animal welfare education became part of the education law just in 2009. So we are just at the beginning, and the effects of these good changes will be seen in years to come, because education is a long-lasting process, and the children who are learning today about animal welfare and animal protection, and that animals are sentient beings, and that if you take an animal, you can't just you cannot just abandon it. You have to care about its welfare. So those children, they're going to be adults in a couple of years. So yes, the thing is that the citizens of Serbia were not informed in a way that they should have been, and but it's a good way that it is changing, and it's going in a good way. We are doing we are contributing to that for sure.
So let's just go back to your organization, to ORCA. How ORCA can help, and what is the strategic plan for the next couple of years?
Well, as I said, ORCA is an animal welfare organization. We are based in Belgrade, but we do work at the national level, and we have been working. We have been advocate. Our mission is to advocate for animal welfare in Serbia. and we protect the welfare of all animals here. And based on our experience and results of our work so far, we made a strategic plan for the period of 2011 2015. Our most important strategic goals, which we developed based on assessment. And which we believe that are the top priorities for animal welfare in Serbia and for our organization at the same time, is to improve the animal welfare legislation. So to have a good regulation, good legislation, which is harmonized among each other and with the EU, to have a good enforcement. So the good laws that we have to enforce them. The institutions in charge have to enforce them. And we want to make animal welfare education widely accepted and widely integrated into the official education system of Serbia. And of course, the citizens, all citizens of Serbia, to understand why animal welfare is important and how we can all protect them together.
Another question related to animal welfare. There are 4 groups of animals that there is a program that I read about in ORCA organization on your website, and it says it's related to 4 different types of animals: farm, companion, research, and wild animals. What is the program about, and is there a different way you treat all these animals, or you treat the same way? Like, what is that program about?
So basically, our work, as we are an advocacy organization, but also have activities with people and animals. Our work is based on 3 platforms. And the first platform is called Good Policies for Animals and People, and its main goal is to practically improve legislation and regulation in Serbia. So there are several initiatives that they are on the way at this moment. For example, we are advocating for making animal welfare part of the Constitution of Serbia, to make all legislation which is related to animal welfare harmonized between each other and with the EU regulation. And we also, for example, support international initiatives such as the Universal Declaration for Animal Welfare, which is an initiative from the World Society for Protection of Animals at the General Assembly of the United Nations to be adopted. So basically, one of our big achievements is that we advocated and we succeeded in having the Serbian government officially supporting this declaration. So we expect that the government support it also at the United Nations. We also, as I said, we were campaigning for this animal welfare law, which has been adopted, and of course we had really good support from the Serbian president for the first resolution for animal protection here in Serbia. So many things to to say. The second platform that we base our work is a platform called Stop Animal Abuse, which is basically working on the enforcement of existing regulation, and what is really important to us, that animal abuse and animal murder is a criminal act as it became in 2006. And we want this legislation to be enforced. We want the institutions who are in charge to efficiently enforce and to network between each other. So, for example, what we are doing as part of this platform, and it's regarding these platforms which I'm explaining there about all these animals that you were mentioning. Right. So all four groups
treat the same way.
Exactly. Right? So for example, one of our greatest achievements is that in 2007 the first prison sentence for animal murder happened, which we were following, and we have a legal counseling office, and there people can come and they can complain, and they can if they have a problem with animal murder or animal abuse or any kind of problem related to animal, they can come to us, and then we help them, we assist them to address the institutions who are in charge for processing their cases. So yes, we also network the authorities such as police and prosecution, and we help them to communicate between each other. So we have a coordination team on the republic level, which are we also supporting. And I will finish with the third platform, who is called ORCA Education, as we were just mentioned. And this platform is dealing with integrating animal welfare education and teaching, training the teachers to how to teach animal welfare to their students in Serbia.
As I see, ORCA has been very successful. There are so many achievements here that we even didn't mention. One of them that are particularly dear to me because it's related to children and education, and it's about ORCA, as I found out, was able to implement welfare education system into schools, into preschools, and also into elementary school. Maybe you can tell me more about that, and also how did you succeed? Because I believe it was very hard. Serbians, as the rest of Balkans, have very poor history of animal welfare, and any success related to that, I think it's a huge. So how did you manage doing that, implementing welfare education system into schools?
Well, thank you. First of all, as you said, it was very hard, and everything what you said is true. We were advocating and working really hard on that for 8 years, and the greatest achievement, I must say, is that we succeeded in making animal protection. It is written literally like that, to be one of the general goals of the education law, which was adopted in 2009, and this is the basis of all of our further work. And this means actually that animal welfare has to be implemented in official education, which is a great success. And yes, but this small part of the census is the result of our long-lasting work, as you said. So, but yes, it's really important, and we believe that animal welfare education is really important, and it is the real way to make citizens aware and people responsible, developing responsible attitudes to animal and perceiving them as sentient beings. And because we believe in that, we trained more than 2,000 teachers. We have an certified training program for teachers, and there during 2 days they come and they learn how they can implement animal welfare in their subjects, and how they can teach, for example, geography or maths or languages or arts and science by using, for example, some examples from the world of animals. And of course, animal welfare is the center of these things.
Right, definitely. Do you want to mention any other achievement? I know I just mentioned one about welfare and implementing into school and animal welfare education. Is there any that's particularly dear to you that you would like to mention?
Well, I can say the fact that ORCA exists for 13 years in Serbia and works and has these successes, I can say it's a success for itself,
right,
and on its own. And as I don't know if your viewers know, but we have a really difficult political and social and economical situation here. And as you said, many poor people are here, and there are no systematic. There are no strategic ways. The country doesn't have long-term strategies for many areas of the society, and animal welfare is not so. It's often a low priority for authorities and for people when they have to think about their own existence. So yes, it's a hard situation, and having in mind these facts, I believe that having this kind of successes and having this kind of enthusiasms after so many years of success of its own.
Right. One of the claims that government is making is that they're underfunded, and that this is the reason why they're doing such a poor job with animals, with animal welfare, and that that's the reason why they have so many stray dogs and cats on the streets. And that's probably true. I would also say that many organizations, animal rights organizations, are funding rescuing projects out of their own pocket. There is no money, and it's really, really hard. They are just taking money out of their own pocket, and just for the love of animals. So what I want to say is that Serbia needs help, animal needs help, and if you want to contribute, if you want to get involved, it would be greatly appreciated. Because Serbia right now are missing, shelters are missing so many basic supplies. They're missing not only food for dogs and cats, they're missing detergents, blankets, so many things, toilet papers, plates. There's so many things that they would really appreciate if you could donate. And of course, monetary donation is always the most appreciated. So, Jelena, if you could just tell us, if somebody wants to make donation, what is the name of the website or how they can contact you?
Actually, ORCA doesn't have a shelter, but there are many other organizations in Serbia that do. But if they want to contribute to our work, they can go to our homepage, and it's www.orca.rs. Yes.
Is there an email? Do you want to give some email, or if people want to make donation to your organization, like what is the usual way how they contact you? Is that they would go on your website or send email, or how do they do it?
Well, they should contact us, and the best thing is to get in contact by email. So, but they can find all the email addresses on our website. But one of them is office@orca.rs. Yes, we would appreciate any kind of help.
Greatly appreciate.
Thank you.
Jelena, it was such a pleasure having an interview with you. I wish you all the best, to you and ORCA, and future success in whatever you're doing.
Thank you very much, and thank you for this kind invitation.
You're welcome.